Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, October 6th. Feeling a lot like October this morning. If you have been listening to our Storm Tracker weather team, you knew this was going to happen, but today mostly cloudy, very windy. You could feel when that cold front came through last night. It was pretty calm most of the day, and then, wow, super windy. This morning it was very chilly, and we're not going to warm up that much. Looking at the forecast from Storm Tracker meteorologist Lydia Bloom, we're going to see a high around 47 degrees today. It's going to be another cold start tomorrow morning, even colder actually. We're going to see a hard freeze. Lows down into the 20s, like 26 degrees, and going to remain pretty cold for your Friday, but a nice rebound for the weekend. We're going to see temperatures going back up to some nice mild fall temperatures. So definitely feeling like October, but we're not going into the deep dive of winter weather just yet. No snow in the forecast just yet as well, at least not in the 10-day. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live. Don't forget you can watch and listen to this live stream anytime you want, of course on Facebook, but also on our InForum YouTube channel, or you can visit your favorite podcast platform. It's really a great way to get all of the news and weather that you want to help start your day. Just visit inforum.com/podcasts and look for the InForum Minute. Okay, looking ahead today, we are hoping to learn more information today, get the name, the condition of a motorcyclist after a bad crash that happened in South Fargo right around 4:30 yesterday afternoon on 52nd Avenue South, which is right by FBA, the Fargo Basketball Academy. Police tell us the motorcyclist collided with a dump truck from Precision Lawn and Landscaping. That area, a lot of people probably did notice this, it was shut down for about 2.5 hours as officers investigated that crash. The driver of that truck was ticketed for failing to yield, and of course, we are still working to get an update on not only the motorcyclist's name, but his condition today. So stay with WDAY for that update. A Hillsborough man accused of trying to kidnap a Subway store owner now has to go through a mental health evaluation as questions are being raised if he was even able to do what he's accused of. This is also a story we've been tracking for you. 62-year-old Mark Wybe actually used a walker as he approached the judge to face attempted kidnapping charges. Court documents say he tried yanking the woman into his pickup while pulling a gun on her. Luckily, the victim was able to get away and run to a gas station nearby for help. But we just spoke with Wybe's lawyer, and he says his client does not remember anything from that day, and he's actually arguing that Wybe may not even have the physical strength to commit that crime. We're going to continue tracking this for you. Of course, that mental health exam is going to be done, hoping that it will be done within a month is what we're hearing from prosecutors and defense attorneys. That next hearing is scheduled for November 9th. This is also an update for you this morning on a story out of the White Earth Reservation. We've been tracking this story since June of 2020. A man will be spending time in federal prison for beating a child in his care. 30-year-old Edward Fairbanks was sentenced to 10 years in prison for assaulting that 3-year-old girl. Court documents say she had severe head trauma, marks all over her body that looked like taser burns. At one point she had to be airlifted to a Fargo hospital, but she did survive. New reports this morning say Morehead's American Crystal Sugar is among the top donors to lawmakers who voted to deny the 2020 presidential election results. That's according to nonpartisan watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. Now, since the January 6th attack on the Capitol, American Crystal Sugar has donated $530,000 to members of Congress who are denying those election results. We did talk to the company's vice president of governmental policy. He's saying their political action group is actually a nonpartisan group when it comes to making contributions. He says their decisions to donate based on having similar views towards sugar and agricultural policy. If you want to read more on this, you can find that story at inforum.com. Interesting breakdown there. A Fargo addiction counselor is now taking charge in a movement to oppose the measure set to legalize marijuana in North Dakota. That committee is called Healthy and Productive North Dakota. It's led by Christy Spooner, who served as a chairwoman of a successful campaign to defeat the legalization measure in 2018. The group claims that the measure will have consequences for public health and public safety. Just in time for this cold weather, we're going to start talking about those heating bills, and Congress has actually approved funds that will help keep thousands of Minnesotans warm this winter. More than $18 million will go to the state to help lower-income families pay for utilities and heating assistance during the winter months. This is an update for you as well on a story we've been tracking, and it's been getting a lot of attention. The drunk driving crash involving the Hennepin County Sheriff. We're learning now that Sheriff David Hutchinson's peace officer license will be temporarily suspended. The Minnesota Board of Peace Officer Standards and Training suspended his license for 180 days, with 150 days stayed for 3 years with conditions. If you don't remember this case, back in December of 2021, Hutchinson crashed his squad car near Alexandria. The reports say his blood alcohol content was 0.13, and he was driving 126 miles an hour and not wearing a seatbelt. Hutchinson was sentenced to 2 years probation, had to pay $600 in fines. He says he will not be seeking a new term as sheriff in November. Also, a couple of breaking news stories that we want to keep you updated on, international as well. This one's coming out of Thailand. I feel like you're going to hear a lot about this. 35 people are dead after a gunman opened fire at a child care center there. It's the deadliest mass shooting in the country's history. 22 children and 2 adults were killed in that building. The gunman then took off, was still shooting from his car, then went home. He killed his wife and child before taking his own life. We have learned this morning the gunman is identified as a 34-year-old former police officer. He was fired last year for drug-related offenses. Another breaking story, North Korea launched a missile over Japan, causing Japan to warn its citizens to take shelter. Well, a lot of talk about the response here from the U.S. and South Korea. They issued a live fire exercise where the 2 military forces fired missiles into the Korean peninsula. According to national security, the launch was designed to demonstrate, which you can imagine, that the U.S. and its allies are ready to respond to any aggression by North Korea. Another story here in the U.S., we've learned that 4 members of a family in California, including an 8-month-old girl, were found dead after someone is believed to have kidnapped them all at gunpoint. This happened Monday morning. The sheriff is talking more today about their deaths. 48-year-old man is being questioned by police right now, but we are not hearing of any charges just yet. The sheriff says it's possible that a second person may also be connected to this case. Coming out of the sports department this morning, just talked to Dom Izzo before we came out here. Of course, Hot Mic is on the Extra from 9 to 11, also on InForum.com. Our plans moving forward for 3 classes of high school basketball in North Dakota. We're going to get the answer from the group trying to make it happen today. Also, UND had one of its biggest wins of the weekend last week. Well, can they back it up against Youngstown State? Their offensive coordinator will also be joining Dom on Hot Mic today. So tune in for that. And also be sure when you're online to check out this story. InForum.com has almost all of the stories I talked about today, but I didn't talk a lot about this one. It's by Sam Getzinger. Farm Rescue is helping farmers get through harvest in times of need. A great, great organization. Just this week, the organization made the trip to Georgetown to work the fields of a farmer who broke his leg in May. You can read all about it. Watch that story as well at InForum.com. And while you're there, remember, get yourself signed up. For 99 cents a month for your first 3 months, you can get an all-access pass to InForum.com. Just go to InForum.com/subscribe to get that deal. And remember, you can join us. We have that brand new 11 a.m. newscast, 1 hour long. That starts off our morning news, and we continue into the afternoon, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. And of course, we always appreciate when you wake up with First News every weekday morning from 5 to 7. Have a great day, everyone.